We would now like to recognize and thank all of our senior football players and their families, introducing them and inviting them to midfield to be honored. Number 57, Captain George Burke. George is escorted by his mom Cynthia and his dad Tom Burke.
Yeah, what up, George?
Number 76, Captain Joseph DePaulo. Joe is escorted by his mom Mara and his dad Ronald DePaulo. Number 73, Captain Patrick Salazar. Patrick is escorted by his mother Kelly and his father Roberto Salazar. On behalf of the Morristown-Beard School Administration and its football team, we would like to thank all the seniors and their parents for their hard work and dedication to the football program and the greater school community. Thank you, seniors. Today's contest is being conducted according to the rules of the New Jersey State High School Athletic Association. These rules provide for fair competition among players. Spectators can help promote good sportsmanship by observing the rules of fair play. Any verbal, written, or physical conduct related to race, gender, ethnicity, disability, sexual orientation, or religion shall not be tolerated, can subject a violator to ejection, and may result in penalties being assessed to your team. Each one is requested to take personal responsibility for keeping this competition at a high level of good sportsmanship. Morristown-Beard has won the toss and deferred their choice to the second half.
And welcome to the Burke Memorial Field in Morristown, New Jersey for today's high school prep football matchup between the Morristown-Beard High School Crimson and the Riverdale County Falcons. Tim Kettlefellow alongside Simon Rosenwasser getting ready to call this matchup this afternoon. Both of these two teams looking to try to gain some momentum. Beard, otherwise known as Morristown-Beard, has lost 4 games in a row. They went 4-4 last year, so they're trying to finish out the season strong, whereas Riverdale, who comes all the way from the Bronx, looking to try to be 500 after today. They are currently 2-3 on the year, whereas Beard is 1-4. And we'll see what we got. A lot of late developing stories. The starting quarterbacks for both teams are out after the end of the game last year, so we'll talk about that in just a minute as we pause for the national anthem. So we're back after just pausing briefly for the national anthem. As I was saying, Beard and, of course, Riverdale, both their starting quarterbacks at the beginning of this season are out. Of course, for the Crimson, you had Devin Soto, who was one of the junior stars. He got injured earlier this year, and now it's the true freshman James Marinello who will be taking the starting quarterback position for Crimson. On the other side for Riverdale, they have Connor O'Neill, the true freshman, who's filling in for Harrison Linden, who of course got injured, had a concussion a couple of weeks ago. So certainly freshman quarterbacks at both sides of the football. This will certainly make for an interesting game, and certainly some experience that could play a major role that won't be held at the quarterback position.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens here. It's a beautiful day for football, Tim. Gorgeous day, really. A little bit chilly. It was hot and humid earlier in the week. It's been a nice week here doing the homecoming broadcast here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network for Morristown-Beard, culminating in this big football matchup. Should be fun, Tim. Looking forward to it.
Temperatures right now in the 50s, and there is a slight breeze outside, but it is, as Simon mentioned, very good weather for football. Opening kick going to Riverdale. And it is now being returned by Zach Ron-Fine across the 25 to about the 28-yard line, and that's where the Riverdale Falcons will begin their opening drive. So as I mentioned, Connor O'Neill, the true freshman starting quarterback, will trot out onto the field to try to get things going. The Falcons, as I mentioned, 2-3. They are in the Metropolitan Independent Football Conference. They are 0-3 in conference play. This is a non-conference game, as Crimson, of course, is an independent. And we'll see what Riverdale comes out as far as their offense is concerned. Player that you have to keep an eye on this afternoon, Dylan Mack, the senior running back, captain on the team, very impressive. He is lined up behind O'Neill on first down. In fact, the give is to Mack. Mack across the 30 to 35 and gains about 6 yards on first down.
Yeah, you can already tell it's gonna be tough to bring him down. You saw 4 or 5 Morristown-Beard Crimson on him. They got to him right maybe a yard past the line of scrimmage, but he still went forward for a good gain of 6 on first down.
So it'll be second and about 4 from about the 35-yard line. Once again, Connor O'Neill out of the shotgun. 2 wide receivers clustered in the backfield. Takes a snap, hands off to Mack. Mack again up the middle across the 35, and maybe he'll gain about a yard, if that. They'll bring up a third down and short now for Riverdale.
Yeah, the fact that you're saying that Riverdale is a good running team. They've got a good running back. You know Morristown-Beard, they prepare well. That is what they're going to obviously come out and look to try to stop the run. And as fate would have it, Riverdale comes out and runs their first 2 plays. Morristown-Beard, good stop on 2nd down.
So again, 3rd down and 3 from about the 36-yard line. Handoff again to Mack, and Mack is stuffed immediately. He did not get the first down, barely got a yard on the play. Making the tackle was Will Watson, number 50. And that'll bring up 4th down and 3. And we'll see what Riverdale does here. They have not yet trotted out the punting unit, so it looks like they may go for it here on 4th and 2 from the 38-yard line. And it looks like they are going to go for it.
Strong running game. They trust it to get the short yardage.
O'Neal under center. Everybody clustered together on offense and some movement early on, and that might be what Riverdale was initially trying to do, draw Morristown off sides, and that's exactly what they do. So it'll be an automatic first down for Riverdale.
Yeah, I think Riverdale might have gotten away with one there. Stephen Feely, the right guard for Riverdale, looked like he moved first, but you could see Riverdale right when there was some movement, they pointed to the other side. And you'd like to think that that doesn't have anything to do with how the referees see it, but Riverdale sold it well. And first down it is.
And, of course, it's always the other side that's the mistake,
right,
not
course,
your side,
yep.
Of course. So 1st down and 10 from the 45-yard line. Hand off to Mack. Mack running to the left sideline, gets to the edge to the 50, and is knocked out of bounds near about the 49-yard line.
Mack on the carry, gain of 5.
It's about a 5-yard gain on the play. It'll bring up 2nd down and 5. So far, Riverdale sticking on the ground, and they're making some yardage.
Yeah, first time we've seen him get to the outside and in a one-on-one situation. You can already tell Mack's going to be tough to bring down because Morristown-Beard got there. Dante Marinello, he was there. But in a one-on-one situation, number 23 for Riverdale is a load to bring down. He doesn't look it, but very compact body, good running back frame.
So now O'Neal will go out of the shotgun here on 2nd down and 5 from the 48-yard line. Mack in the backfield, hand off to Mack. Mack now running left again across the 50 and gets into Morristown territory before he is driven back. They'll actually mark him right at the 50-yard line, so maybe a gain of 1 on the play. And they'll bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 5 from midfield.
So this will be interesting, Tim. It's the first real passing down situation. I don't know if you want to trust your running game on 3rd down, though we did just see Riverdale go for it on 4th down, so maybe they're thinking that they've got 2 downs to pick up this first down. But we've yet to see the arm of the Riverdale quarterback.
So O'Neal once again out of the shotgun. Jonathan Faber to the bottom of your screen at the 50-yard line. O'Neal tucks it under his arm and will run across the 50 before he is stood up. First man to get to him was Will Watson there for Morristown. He maybe got a yard on the play, and once again, Simon, now we're in the same position that we were just a few moments ago with a 4th down and maybe 4. We'll see what Riverdale does here.
Yeah, impressed there by Will Watson. He's been on pretty much every one of the tackles so far for Morristown-Beard, and that time he was coming in on a blitz and had to halt his momentum immediately as he saw the quarterback tuck and run, and he did well to hold him for only a gain of 1.
So 4th down and 4 from the Morristown 49-yard line. Almost some movement nearly again. Now here's O'Neal out of the shotgun, takes the snap, fires, going all the way down the sidelines to nobody. The intended target at around the 30-yard line was Zach Braunfein, and that'll be a turnover on downs. There is a flag, though.
Oh, we'll see what the flag is. George Burke, though, right in on him. And he was forcing O'Neal to throw that football. Burke almost got home for the sack, and he just had to get it away. It looks like Morristown-Baird's taken over, though. I didn't see a call on the for the flag. Did you?
I think they may have picked the flag. I thought I heard one of the officials saw one of the officials throw a flag, but you're correct, Simon. It is a turnover on down, so Crimson will get the ball back. So this will be their first offensive possession of the ball game, and now we'll see another true freshman, James Marinello, at quarterback for Morristown come out. It'll be 1st down and 10 from the 48-yard line of Morristown. Clustered together in the backfield. Snap goes to actually Nate Panza. Panza running across the 45 to the 40, inside Riverdale territory, brought down at the 38. He was actually a player I was just going to mention, Nate Panza, probably one of the best players that head coach Tim Fell told me before the game he has on his roster, and already we're starting to see his impact on offense as the running back.
Yeah, it looked like, was that a direct snap that he took that?
Looked like it, yeah.
They went with a stretch and good blocking out in front and a solid gain on first down. That's a really good way to start the offensive series for Morristown-Beard.
So again, first down and 10 from the Riverdale 38-yard line. James Marinello, the freshman quarterback, has a brother, Dante Marinello, who's one of the wide receivers. He is actually split out to the left at the bottom of your screen. Snap is bobbled and jumbled, and it's picked up by Riverdale in the backfield. I'm not sure if that was Marinello was trying to hand off to Panza, but it's recovered in the backfield by Riverdale, and Riverdale will take over. David Korn, the first one to get to it for the Falcons. And just like that, Riverdale gets the ball back for the first turnover of the game.
Yeah, it was a high snap, no adjustment there for Marinello. He was expecting it to come right in his chest, and like you said, hand the ball off immediately. But things in football happen, and you got to be prepared for anything. And you take your eyes off the ball for a second, you lose it, and Riverdale's got the ball back.
So now first down and 10 from about the 40-yard line. And now we have some movement off sides, definitely for sure. As moving into the neutral zone there for Morristown was James Marinello.
Encroachment on the defense.
Yeah, Marinello was looking to tee up a sack there as he bit on the hard count.
Way over the line, trying to, I guess, recover from the fumble that he just had last play on the other side of the ball. So now the ball moves from about the 40 to about the 47-yard line. It'll be first down and 5. Again, no score here, 7:06 remaining here in the first. O'Neal out of the shotgun. Mack in the backfield for him. Takes a snap on first down, handoff to Mack. Mack running to the left sideline, gets to the edge, and will pick up a couple of yards on the play before he is shoved out of bounds. Making the tackle there was Major Jones, one of the safeties.
Jones on the stop
for Morristown. And now we'll see, it'll be a second and short upcoming for Riverdale. We've only seen Connor O'Neal rather, go to the air once. And that was a pass that was intended for Zach Gronfien on fourth down on the last time that Riverdale had the football. Other than that, it has been all run with Dylan Mack, the senior captain for the Falcons. So second down and 2 from the midfield. O'Neal takes the snap, hands off Mack. Actually, O'Neal's going to keep it himself now across the 50, gets into Morristown territory across the 40, and is finally tackled out of bounds at the 35-yard line. That was James Marinello again making the stop, but O'Neal is down. Looked like a pretty harmless tackle, but obviously in some pain. And this is not something that Riverdale needs. They lost their starting quarterback last week. And now Connor O'Neal, the true freshman, down at the 35.
Yeah, it's already a run-heavy offense, and with the true freshman in there, they're looking to get him in some good spots to make plays. I like the play design there, the option, and it was a good call, good decision by Connor O'Neal to tuck that and run, but a little frustrating to have your first run get hit out of bounds, and like you said, Tim, it looked fairly harmless coming out of bounds, but it looks like he's grasping his left arm.
It almost looks like he fell on his left wrist there, Simon. I think that's what they're checking out. I don't think it's anything serious, but it's almost like he twisted his wrist as he was falling down out of bounds.
Certainly not his throwing arm, which is, I guess, a silver lining, and his legs are fine. Obviously, they're able to roll with him on that play, running the football, but it'll be interesting to see whether he's going to be able to stay in the game. I think for the moment he's going to have to come out because it does not look like he's able to move that left wrist with any confidence at this point.
It's either his wrist or his finger. The more that we're looking at it up here in the broadcast booth, it looks like he almost has a finger that's been bent.
Who else we got on the roster playing quarterback? Kevin Pepin?
The backup quarterback, actually, Simon, would be Peter Edelstein.
All right.
who would come in. He is also a freshman as well. And it looks like O'Neal is going to come off of the field and probably going to go to the locker room. Again, I'm not sure if it's his wrist or his finger, but...
Again, it's not his throwing finger, so you hope that he'd be able to just get that taped up and be able to get back into the game, but...
So Peter Edelstein warming up on the opposite end to replace O'Neal, and certainly disappointing for Connor. Had played fairly well. Again, only went to the air once, but when you have someone like Dylan Mack in the backfield, you don't necessarily have to go to the air too much. And we'll see if this changes the dynamics. This might be a break for Morristown. We'll see.
Yeah, you think about the nerves coming into a game, filling in for the quarterback, and you're so excited to play, and then you get hurt in the first quarter. Got to be pretty frustrating.
So again, Peter Edelstein in the backfield as the quarterback takes a snap on first down. Now going to tuck it under his arm and run to the left, and is not even going to get back to the line of scrimmage. I'm not quite sure what that play was, as a swarm of Morristown defenders get to him. They're making the stop first was Dante Marinello for Morristown.
It was Major Jones who got there first and hit him backwards a little bit and allowed Marinello to come and finish off the play, but you're right, Tim. That was too much east-west for Edelstein, who thrown right into the fire here. I don't think he was expecting to be behind center here in the first quarter. But here he is.
2nd and 15 now from the 40-yard line. Edelstein out of the shotgun, takes a snap, hands off to Mack. Mack up the middle, across the 40, and maybe gets a yard or two on the play. So not much happening on 2nd down. It'll bring up a 3rd down, and we'll call it 14 from about the 39-yard line of Morristown. So now you would expect Edelstein to go out of the gun, or at least to try to get some yards through the air. Not quite in field goal range if you're Riverdale. That would be quite a long kick. So I would assume this is probably 4-down territory. 5 minutes left here in the first. Again, no score. Edelstein out of the shotgun, takes the snap, fires over the middle, and it is almost picked off, and it is caught and reeled in by Jonathan Faber at the 10-yard line. There in the coverage was Dante Marinello. Marinello thought he had a paw on it and nearly came down, but somehow Faber is able to reel it in, and it's a 1st down now near 1st and goal for Riverdale.
Yeah, that's a good work. That's good work by Edelstein. You put it up there, have your receiver go up and make a play, one-on-one coverage, and it's a nice-looking ball, and a good work by Faber on the other end to bring it down.
Edelstein, the sophomore quarterback, has played a variety of positions in his career. And now 1st and goal from the 10-yard line. Hand off to Mack. Mack now again running the left side, and he's tripped up in the backfield. Bringing him down near the line of scrimmage there for Morristown was number 55 for the Crimson.
James Harvett.
James Harvett. He's actually scheduled as number 54. He's playing number 55 today. So that'll bring up a 2nd down, and we'll call it 11. 2nd and goal, I should say, from the 11-yard line for Riverdale. Once again, Edelstein, a quick shovel pass over his tight end, David Korn. Korn gets to the edge and is pushed out of bounds near the 8-yard line. It's a weird play. It'll bring up a 3rd down and goal.
Is that a run or a pass?
I don't know. It looked like a shovel pass. Not quite basketball season yet, but that almost looked like a little give and go in the paint.
Yeah.
So 3rd and goal from the 8-yard line for Riverdale. And I got to imagine, Simon, you have a lot of options on your table right now if you're Riverdale, because you can either run the ball and try to get closer. I would assume this is 4-down territory, or you can drop back to pass. You have lots of options here in this position.
Yeah, we'll see what they do. If you're Edelstein, you might want to have a play where you extend it, maybe give yourself an option to run if it's there.
And now a whistle. And we'll have a false start here on Riverdale. So instead of it being 3rd and goal from about the 8-yard line, and they'll back them up to about the 13. And I think we're going to get a timeout by head coach Joe Otero. of the Falcons.
By the way, the referee's flag is pink.
Yes.
You see that?
Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Lots of officials and players on both sides sporting some pink. A couple of the assistant coaches for Morristown wearing some pink shoes.
So you saw a yellow flag earlier in the drive. You were definitely mistaken.
I don't know what the heck I saw. Maybe a leaf.
Yeah. Hey, it happens. A lot going on here. But yeah, the 3rd and goal from the 15. The playbook shortens up a little bit. Now you're almost forced to pass here, and like you said, Tim, it's probably 4-down territory. You get within the 5. If that's your goal here on this play, then that's probably a worthy goal to go for because it gives you a shot on 4th down to get into the end zone. It'll be interesting to see what they come out here on 3rd down with.
You could also always take the easy out and get the 3 points with the field goal, but that's certainly not a guarantee.
Yeah, it's never easy in high school, is it?
No. So we'll see what the Falcons draw up here on 3rd down, 3rd and goal from the 13 after that false start penalty backed them up 5 yards. Edelstein going to the end zone, all the way in the back of the end zone for Grunfein, and it's incomplete. It went out of his hands there on the coverage there. It looked like that was Charlie Ekbar.
He's got the ball there. He throws a nice lob ball. He's recognizing the one-on-one coverage. Coach putting him in a good spot, and
4th and goal.
You know, that's all really you can ask for. Put your receiver in a position to go make a play, and we'll see if they once again try to air it out here. I'm sure they will on 4th and 13 from the 13.
Aaron Skolnick actually was there on the coverage there for Morristown. 4th and goal from the 13. Riverdale will go for it here with 3.5 minutes left here in the first. No score. Dropping back to pass. Edelstein, pressure coming. Dumps it over the middle. It's caught. And rowing into the 5-yard line and taken down right before he gets to the end zone. That is Jason Sager, but he is stopped short. Again, I'm not sure if Sager, that was an intended pass for him, as Edelstein was kind of hit as he threw, but nonetheless, they almost punch it in, but a nice stop nonetheless by Morristown.
There was a similar play on Thursday Night Football a few days ago where Carson Wentz was hit and Nelson Aguilar came out of nowhere and caught the ball. It almost looked like the exact same play, except for Morristown-Beard staying home, able to stop them short. But now they've got a long field. So the turnover doesn't come back to bite Morristown-Beard, but it does put them with a very long field. And Riverdale's going to try to tighten up here and win this battle of field position here in the first quarter.
Well, this is certainly going to be a tough situation to get themselves out of. They are backed up against their own end zone here on 1st down. Marinello, the quarterback. Actually, it's a direct snap to, I believe, Greg Sutton, one of the wide receivers. We'll double check that. It's actually Aaron Massimi who takes it a couple yards on 1st down. So direct snap to Massimi, the 6-foot junior, 165 pounds from Pompton Lakes. Gains 3 on the play, and they'll bring up 2nd down.
So 3 plays on offense for Morristown-Beard. 2 direct snaps to the runner and 1 to the quarterback, and the 2 direct snaps to the runner were the positive ones, and they turned it over when they snapped it to the quarterback.
So Marinello in the shotgun position. Major Jones to his right, and Nate Panza to his left on 2nd down. Takes the snap, hands off Panza. Panza running to the right and gets a couple of yards on the play before he is wrapped up. It'll bring up about a 3rd down, and we'll call it 4 or 5 from the 11-yard line.
Yeah, it's a big spot in the game early on. 3rd down, you're not going to talk about 4-down territory at this portion of the field. So Morristown-Beard, they got to pick up this 1st down yardage, and Riverdale, they hang tough, then they've got some pretty good field position coming back the other way.
And if you're Riverdale, you certainly want to dig deep and try to force a 3 and out, because you would get good field position if Morristown is forced to punt. So here we go, 3rd down and 5. Marinello takes a snap, rolling to his left, dumps it off. It's caught by Major Jones. Jones across the 15 to the 20, picks up the 1st down and more, out of bounds. 1st down for Morristown.
Yeah, just such a tough play to defend there. Major Jones peeling off, and he's open. You you design the rollout, and it's actually kind of a tough throw across his body. But he's able to make it, and a good work, a good play design, good work, and good execution by Morristown-Beard to pick that up.
So Morristown gets some breathing room as now they've moved the ball to about the 23-yard line. Once again on first down out of the shotgun is Marinello. Panza to his left. Hands off to Panza. Actually, it's good. Marinello's going to keep it up the middle across the 40, 45, 50. Marinello has some room into enemy territory across the 40-yard line into Riverdale.
And speaking of hard to defend, the option there, you have to have a lot of faith in your quarterback to make the right decision there. And Marinello obviously made the right decision. You got a quarterback that's got some explosive speed like that. You got the ability to open up the playbook and run designs like that. And Marinello made the right choice. Burst up the middle. Biggest play of the game so far for Mo Baird.
The 5'10 freshman playing incredibly well and seeming to be very comfortable in the pocket. So again, first down and 10 inside Riverdale territory at the 38-yard line. Marinello takes the snap. Four-man rush, steps up and is almost brought down to the backfield, escapes it. Flag is down, fires it down the sidelines, and it is caught at around the 20-yard line by Sean Pellinsky, but there is a flag down at the 45, and that's a yellow flag, Simon.
Wow, how about that?
So I did see something, and we'll check the flag.
And it looks like Morristown-Baird's pointing in the direction of Riverdale, and Riverdale's already backing up, so they might think that they're the guilty party in this one. And you know how I just mentioned Carson Wentz? That was a Carson Wentz-like move, a spin out of the pocket, flushed out, and keep the play alive. Knight Browse was right in on him and almost took him down, but Marinello was able to spin out of it. It's a really athletic play. A couple good plays in a row from the Morristown-Beard quarterback.
So they picked the flag up. It was declined. It was on Riverdale. It was a face mask. But, of course, Morristown does not want to take the penalty, so they'll take first down and 10 from the Riverdale 20. Once again, clustered formation in the backfield. Marinello out of the gun in the center. Takes a snap, drops back, pressure, and Marinello is tripped up back at the 27-yard line. Nice defensive play there made by David Korn for Riverdale. One of the middle linebackers coming in and bringing down Marinello. It's a loss of about 7 on the play. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. So no score here from Morristown. It's the Morristown Crimson taking on the Riverdale Falcons. We're at the end of one quarter of play. We'll come back after this for the second quarter on Play by Play Sports Network. Back here at Morristown, second down and 17 upcoming for the Crimson. It's a direct snap to Nate Panza here on second down. Pulling it down under his arm and running across the 20. Has some room, 15, 10, and is finally tackled. Nice pickup of about 20 yards on second down. And now it's first and goal for Crimson as they are knocking on the door once again inside Riverdale territory.
They got some good runners out of the backfield, and Panza changes his direction fast. Looked like he might have gone up the middle and decides to go towards the sideline, and solid work on first down to give themselves a first down.
Opening minutes of the second quarter, we still have had no score. Marinello out of the shotgun on 1st and goal from the 6. Hand off to Panza. Actually, he's going to keep it himself up the middle. Marinello is in for the touchdown for Morristown. We saw that play just a moment ago when Marinello was able to break off about a 30-yard run late in the first quarter on this drive, and he does it again, fakes the handoff to Nate Panza, and he runs in a 6-yard touchdown, and now Crimson is 1 point away from taking a 7-0 lead.
Yeah, the option, keep going with it if you can't stop it, and it's given a lot of success to Morristown-Beard here in the first half, and that's what caps off this drive, a long one. What was it, a 90-yard drive, 90-yard plus.
And it looks like they're not going to get the extra point. They're going to go for 2 here. So this is interesting. We'll see what happens here. Marinello once again to the shotgun, similar formation. Nate Panza, the running back, to his left. Marinello looking, dumps into the end zone. It's caught, and the 2-point conversion is complete. Dante Marinello, his brother. So Marinello to Marinello, and now it's an 8-0 lead for Morristown here with 11:24 left in the first half.
Yeah, they probably have decent chemistry. That was a really good-looking ball by Marinello. Just fired it in there and found his brother, probably simulating the Turkey Day festivities they have at the Marinello family.
Both freshmen from Watchung, New Jersey.
Yeah, impressive drive by Morristown-Beard. They kept it on the ground pretty much the entire time. I don't think there was that one throw where he rolled out and Marinello escaped the sack and was able to extend the play to get a first down. But a big drive by Morristown-Beard. A couple of big option plays, including the option that capped it off for the touchdown.
So Dante Marinello will do the kicking duties from the 40-yard line. Back to receive for Riverdale is Jonathan Faber. It's actually taken across the 35 by David Korn, number 45 for Riverdale, and that's where the Falcons will start. Remember, the Falcons had come in scoring territory. They had marched all the way down the field near the end of the first quarter and got to about the 10-yard line where they stalled out, and that's what, Simon, you were talking about just a moment ago. Morristown got the ball back and was able to drive the opposite way down the field and score, but Riverdale certainly has shown that they can move the football. And we'll see what they do here on 1st down and 10 from the 35. Handoff is to Mack. Mack stood up right at the 35-yard line at the line of scrimmage. A whole host of players. Will Watson, among others, for Morristown getting involved.
All it takes is a little mistiming to mess up a run up the middle, and you can tell Edelstein not totally comfortable in handing the ball off. He's going to have to get his feet wet as he's thrown into the fire here quickly.
Edelstein, the sophomore quarterback, dumps it off. It's a quick screen out to Zach Gronfine. Gronfine across the 40 and is brought down out of bounds. Major Jones and Dante Marinello, they are on the stop. So a gain of about 5. It'll bring up 3rd down and 5 now from the 40. So Edelstein filling in for Connor O'Neill, who was the starting quarterback today, left early on in the first quarter after what appeared to be a wrist injury. And Edelstein will go out of the shotgun here on 3rd down and 4. Takes a snap, Hands off to Mack. Mack across the middle. Lost the football. It's loose. I believe Morristown did not recover. I think Riverdale was able to fall back on it, but they'll actually gain about 2 or 3 yards on the play, but they are short of the first down. Falling on top of the football there, it looked like was Jacob Shin.
Yeah, Nate Panza was celebrating, flexing to his teammates on the sideline. He may have been better off not flexing and going after the loose football after he forced it.
So 4th and 3 from the 43-yard line. Riverdale is still on the field. Their offenses, they're looking to go for it. We've seen this before, though. We saw this early on in the first quarter. They were able to draw Morristown off sides. We'll see if that's the call here on 3rd down and 3. Edelstein out of the shotgun. Doesn't appear so. Looks like they're going to run a play. And now some whistles. And a timeout, I believe, is going to be taken by Riverdale.
Timeout, Riverdale.
That's their 2nd timeout. And I'm sure that they would punt here, Simon. I don't believe that they would go for it here, but I don't know.
You never know, man. I think as you've watched football, especially in the last couple of years, you've seen it at the NFL level and certainly at the high school football level, teams are taking more chances on 4th and short. Statistics are telling you that it is worth it more times than not for you to go for it on 4th down, trust your defense. But you're right, it is a risk, there's no doubt. If Riverdale doesn't make it, then Mo Baird is in a good spot to go down the field and go up by 2 scores. So if you're Riverdale, that's why they're taking the time out there. You got to make sure you're calling the right play to pick up the 1st down yardage. And with a inexperienced quarterback, you certainly have to take even more care into making sure that you're putting him in the best position to succeed. Look at this weird formation. 2 receivers, 2 sets of receivers behind each other.
This is something that Riverdale likes to do a lot here on 4th down. It's a handoff, and it's brought down in the backfield. Making the tackle there, Patrick Salazar for Morristown. It'll be a turnover on downs. Taking the handoff there for Riverdale was Austin Tarosky. And I was just going to mention, Simon, that's a formation that Riverdale likes to run, where they have those receivers lined up nose to tail right behind each other, supposedly trying to draw the defense in, but it didn't quite work.
Well, Mo Baird certainly did their homework, didn't they? They watched it on film. They saw that formation. They've seen Riverdale run that play before, and they acutely recognized it in a big spot in the game and now have the ball and a chance to take a real stranglehold on this contest here in the first half if they put a good drive together.
So again, 8-0, Morristown leads. Marinello out of the shotgun, takes a snap, going for it all down the sidelines. It's caught to his brother, Dante Marinello, and it's a touchdown.
On the money. Last couple of balls we've seen out of Marinello's hands have been just perfectly placed to his brother.
That is the 2nd touchdown from James to Dante this afternoon.
Well, the first one was just the 2-point conversion, remember?
That's true.
Right?
That's
Marinello
correct.
ran for the touchdown the first time and then was able to complete the 2-point conversion to him. But good route run, and you can't really throw the ball more perfectly than that. One-on-one coverage, you put it right on his hands.
It has been all the Marinello brothers so far this afternoon that have gotten on the board for scoring for Morristown. And once again, Morristown will go for 2 here. So we'll see what Mo Baird can do. Marinello, direct snap to him. He's running to his right, looking to throw, and dumps it at the feet of his receiver in the end zone. So the 2-point conversion is no good. He was looking for Major Jones.
That's one of those designed rollouts where you think that maybe if the defense isn't ready for it, Marinello's able to run into the end zone for the score, and he just had to extend the play. He's done a good job of that. I think that we've seen that with Mo Baird so far, that they're comfortable with Marinello getting out of the pocket, extending the play, and then finding something down the field. Didn't work quite that time, but 1 for 2 on 2-point conversion gives you a traditional score of 14 points.
So Mo Baird so far has executed very well on offense. Now just a question of whether Riverdale can try to draw back in. Remember, Mo-Beard has not had a very good season. They are an independent team. They've lost 4 games in a row after going 4-4 last year. Now, of course, they did have to replace a lot of good, talented players after they went on to bigger and better things after last season. But so far, they're looking pretty stout against what was expecting to be a very close game.
Yeah, and things have bounced their way so far. Obviously picked up a turnover, and look at this, surprise onside kick.
Ooh, so an onside kick, and being popped is Aiden Friedsam right at the 40-yard line. There is a penalty flag down.
Yeah, because he went down to a knee, but there was no whistle, so I don't really blame George Burke for going after the receiver of that punt. He had his back turned, so it looked fairly violent, but I think he might get a personal foul called on him here because he did have a knee down, but I didn't hear a whistle, Tim, and it is a personal foul. And obviously safety of utmost importance. You're going to call that penalty more times than not, but it is a little controversial because you can see a Morristown-Beard sideline not particularly happy because I don't think they heard the whistle either. He was playing the whistle, was George Burke.
And that's a killer because not only is it an onside kick that you did not recover, which would have given Riverdale position at about the 35-yard line, but now tack on that extra 15 yards. They're in their own territory at about the 46-yard line. So first down and 10. Edelstein under center now with Mack in the backfield. Takes a snap, hands off to Mack. Mack right up the middle, pushing his way across the 45 and gets a couple on the play.
And obviously, sorry, go ahead.
Making the stop, of course, for the Mo-Beard Crimson was Salazar. It'll bring up a second down.
Yeah, Riverdale in a tough spot here, losing their starting quarterback last week and losing their starting quarterback of this game. Obviously their backup quarterback, and now you got Edelstein in there. Morristown-Baird's defense licking their chops. They know that they like to run the football, and probably even more so now they can really pinch in with their defensive formation.
Edelstein dropping back to pass on second down, fires it down the field for Grunfein. It's intercepted. Intercepted by Dante Marinello. Marinello now taking it back across the 40, and he's got some room. Marinello now in the territory, goes over his own man and is finally tackled deep inside Riverdale territory at the 30-yard line.
It worked a couple of times for Edelstein that first drive. They throw it up in a one-on-one situation, and the receiver's able to make a play, but really that's all he's doing. He's throwing it up there and hoping his receiver's making a play. He's sort of telegraphing. I don't think he really went through his reads or checks and see who was open on that play. He had one receiver in mind. He threw it up there. Safety came over to help, and Marinello made a good play on the ball, is able to pick it. Pretty much a 50-50 ball between the receiver and the defensive back, and the defensive back is going to win that battle a lot of times. It's a tough throw to make if you're Edelstein, and that's where inexperience comes in.
He was looking for his teammate Zach Grunfein at the 25-yard line, and again it was picked off by Dante Marinello. So now Mo-Beard back on offense here with James Marinello out of the shotgun on first down and 10. Takes a snap, drops back, going down the sideline into the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Major Jones. There on the coverage for the Falcons was Jason Stager. And they'll bring up a second down and 10. So taking a shot downfield on first down. Haven't really seen Nate Panza, one of the star running backs, too much in this game.
Yeah, he's had a couple of carries, and he's been involved on those option plays. But it's been pretty much the Marinello show so far for Mo-Beard.
Pair of brothers have certainly been very impressive. It's a direct snap to Major Jones here on second down, trying to get to the edge, and he's still on his feet to the 30-yard line where he's finally tackled. Being pushed out of bounds. Making the tackle was Kofi Samuels on the far side of the field. It'll bring up a third down, and we'll see where they spot the ball. Be about 6 yards from the 27-yard line. Got 7.5 minutes remaining here in the first half. Mo-Beard has a 14-0 lead. And they are driving. Marinello and Major Jones in the backfield. It's actually direct snap once again to Major Jones. This time he goes up the middle for a couple of yards. Making the tackle there, David Korn, who had a sack earlier in the afternoon. And now it's 4th down, and we'll call it about 2. And once again, decision time here, Simon. What do you do on 4th down and 2? You're in. You're right on the edge of the red zone.
I mean, you're not going to kick a field goal. You're not going to punt it, so you're going to go for it. Really, I mean, that's the thinking here. If you're Morristown-Beard, you miss it on 4th down. It's not like you're giving Riverdale a short field. So you go to your playbook. You find a play that you're comfortable with to try to pick up short yardage, and you trust your players to execute.
Now some whistles, and we might have a timeout. No, it's actually going to be delay a game.
Makes it a little tougher.
Morristown. So this will certainly, as you mentioned, Simon, make it tougher. Certainly not what head coach Tim Fell wanted. That'll back him up another 5 yards. So now 4th and 8.
I'd be keeping an eye out for number 15, Marinello. He's not even in the huddle, though. Apparently, he already knows the play before the huddle. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But it looks like him and his brother were on the same page a couple of times in this game.
James Marinello out of the shotgun on 4th down. Takes a snap, got pressure coming, and doesn't get rid of it. He's sacked in the backfield. Making the sack, Sam Lippin, one of the captains for Riverdale. A huge stop on 4th down, and Riverdale catches a break. They'll take over on downs.
He was looking at his brother and Dante. Dante was heading down the field, but he was covered, and the pressure forced him to the other side. He tried to extend the play. Good work by Riverdale to get home and take the ball back. That's a big spot in the game, and another score there for Morristown-Beard really might put it, I don't want to say out of reach in the first half, but it would make the Crimson feel pretty good going into halftime. Now Riverdale has a chance to strike back here with 6:32 to go.
Edelstein under center on 1st down. Handoff is to Mack. Mack running right. Gets across the 35.
Again on the carry.
For a couple of yards on the play, maybe 2, before he hit a wall of Crimson. So bring up a 2nd down and long upcoming now for Riverdale. And this is definitely an important drive, Simon. If you're Riverdale coming to the end of the 1st half, you want to try to get at least something on the board. Head to the locker room to have some momentum to build on.
Yeah, it's just tough when you want to rely on your running game and you're down by 14 points. A situation where you almost have to pass the ball.
Edelstein over the middle. It's caught by the tight end, David Korn. Korn is brought down hard out of bounds at midfield. That was Jay DuBois with a hard tackle. It's a 1st down for Riverdale.
Korn on the catch, and Riverdale 1st down.
David Korn, the tight end.
Floated out of Edelstein's hands there, but he had good protection up front, and the offensive line has to be protecting well and give their young quarterback a chance to get rid of the football, go through his progressions, and read the field.
Joe Otero, head coach for the Riverdale Falcons, did tell me earlier on before the game that he wanted to get his tight end David Korn involved, and certainly on that play he came up in a big way with a 1st down, and they moved the chains.
Yeah, nice catch there by Korn.
So from midfield, Edelstein under center, takes a snap, drops back, pressure. Edelstein once again over the middle, and it's picked off. Back at the 30-yard line. That's Aaron Skolnick. That's the 2nd interception now that Edelstein has thrown. And Morristown now will take over. So after that nice play on 2nd down to bring them to midfield by David Korn, Edelstein throws another pick. That's the 2nd of the afternoon, and basically takes all the momentum that possibly Riverdale had right out of it. And now Crimson is in a position to try to get some more points on the board before the end of the half.
Yeah, again, Edelstein just praying. He's just kind of hoping that his receiver is going to come down with the ball. He throws it up there and hopes that his receiver makes a play. He might have gotten deflected at the line. The ball came out a little wobbly.
again, James Marinello takes a snap directly to himself across the 35 to the 40, gain of about 9 on the play.
Near the 40-yard line.
And if you're
2nd and 1.
Mo-Beard, you're not really in any hurry here,
Nah,
Simon.
You feel good about running the football now. Pressure's off. You want to go out there and execute to the best of your ability, but their offense has been clicking, and you know that this team likes to run the football. I got a couple of guys that we've seen already keep the ball on the ground with, and no real reason to depress the issue, take too many chances, but you certainly could if you're Mo-Beard.
Handoff again directly to Marinello. Marinello's got some room across the 45, still on his feet into midfield.
Marinello again on the
into Riverdale territory. He's brought down at the 48-yard line. Another first down.
Morristown-Beard.
Marinello just keeping the ball, and that's really been several plays now that we've seen that exact formation with him faking the handoff to Nate Panza and just being able to get chunks of yards on the play.
Yep, don't fix what ain't broken. And Riverdale just they're having trouble recognizing whether Marinello is going to give that ball off or whether he's going to keep it himself. And to his credit, he's being a little greedy out there, and he's taking the chunk yardage when he can get it.
Marinello now will hand off to Panza. Panza running right across the 45. Still on his feet, breaks a tackle at the 40 and is run out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
Yeah, it's been physical running. You saw Panza kind of deliver a blow as he was going out of bounds there. And Tim Fell has been getting creative with his runs here. The options, players coming across the formation.
So they will give Mo-Beard the first down.
First
There's a
down,
question as far as where to spot the ball, which was right at the sticks. So it will be another first down for Crimson as they spot the ball now at the 37-yard line. And if you're Crimson, Simon, a score here, as you said a moment ago, wouldn't necessarily put the game out of reach for Riverdale, but it certainly would be detrimental to any type of momentum in the locker room.
They can't be feeling good. They lose their starting quarterback in the game. Their backup, Edelstein, comes in, throws a couple of picks.
Direct snap to Major Jones here on first down. He goes across the 35-yard line to the 34, where he's tackled. David Korn once again.
And it's been number 2, number 3, and number 4 running the football for Mo-Beard. It's pretty much been the offense, and then number 15 catching a couple of balls.
At this time. Thank you.
So approaching 4 minutes left here in the first half. Again, 14-0. Morristown-Beard leads over the Riverdale Country Falcons. Once again, Major Jones and Nate Panza in the backfield. Here on 2nd and 6, and we have some flags before things get going. This could be a false start. And it will back the Mo-Beard Crimson up a couple of yards.
Again, they're getting creative with their runs on this one. They're able to put their quarterback outside the formation. In fact, Marinello was on the sideline for that play. But it's either Jones, it's either Panza, it's either Marinello running the football. And it's tough to keep up with if you're Riverdale Country Day. They want to stop the run. They want to pinch in on one particular player, but Mo-Beard's making it tough to do so.
So 2nd and 11 now from the 40-yard line. Marinello is back as quarterback. Takes the snap, hands off to Panza. Panza trips in the backfield. I think he tripped actually over Marinello's foot. And it's a loss of about 3 or 4 yards on the play. Bring up a 3rd down and forever.
That's only the 1st or 2nd time we've seen Marinello actually give it away on that option play.
So 3rd down and 15. Clock continuing to run. Almost 3 minutes left here in the first half. And more whistles now, and a timeout is going to be taken by head coach Tim Fell of the Crimson to talk things over here on 3rd and 15.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you are a member of the MBS Athletic Hall of Fame or the Alumni Board,
last week, of
make
course,
your way down to the football field at this time. Thank you.
Mo-Beard Crimson lost to Rye Country Day High School, 35-16. And I mentioned they're an independent school. They've lost 4 games in a row. This Talking to head coach Tim Fell before the game, he told me this was going to be a tough matchup for his team. He was expecting Riverdale to certainly be very strong on the offensive side, especially with players like Dylan Mack, the running back. I don't think he quite expected Connor O'Neill to go out early on in the first quarter, but I have to say he feels pretty happy about his team being where they are, the position that they're in right now, despite having a 3rd down and 15.
Yeah, their defense with a couple of interceptions. Their offense has been fluid throughout. A couple of penalties, but that's really nitpicking if you're Morristown-Beard, because otherwise they put the points on the board. They picked up first downs. They've moved the football consistently, though obviously they've got a 3rd and long here coming up. But you're right, they didn't expect Connor O'Neill to go down, and that really puts a wrench in the plans of Riverdale Country Day, because they need to have that threat of throwing the football for Mack to get going. And otherwise, Morristown-Baird's able to pinch in, stop Mack, and able to come up with a couple of interceptions when Edelstein threw the football.
So 3rd down and 15. Direct snap to Panza. Panza across the 40. Breaks a tackle at the 35. Actually, he's actually going to be brought down right at the 34-yard line. Making the tackle, Jonathan Faber, one of the star wide receivers on the other side of the ball for Riverdale. And it'll bring up a 4th down and short. Looks like, once again, Crimson will go for it here. They got nothing to lose. As we're now under 3 minutes left here in the first half. Marinello takes the snap, drops back. Fires, going for Major Jones. Jones has got it, and he walks into the end zone for the touchdown. He's losing his footing and had to dive over the goal line, but he's able to punch it in. There is a penalty flag down. It's roughing the passer on Riverdale. So I don't think that will affect anything in any way. And how good has James Marinello been in this ball game?
He's done it all, right? He's had a couple of really nice looking throws. That one, a beautiful touch throw. But I think earlier, Tim, you mentioned the pocket presence. It was never more evident of having good pocket presence in this game, at least, for James Marinello than it was right there. He hung in the pocket. The Falcons were coming in on a blitz. It's 4th and long, and he stands in the pocket, delivers what didn't need to be a perfect ball, as Major Jones had a step on his receiver, but throw it up there, allow your receiver to make a play, get under it. And that's what he did.
So once again, Crimson is going to go for 2 here. Marinello out of the shotgun. Major Jones to his left. And before we even get things started, some whistles. And this could be another procedural penalty. Actually be a timeout called by Morristown-Beard.
Yeah, Tim Fell's thinking, when they have a chance to get points on the board, you want to make sure that you do so. 2 more points, you never know what's going to happen later on in the game. Could always be the difference. And you got the timeout here at the end of the half, you might as well take it. And not take anything for granted here in this sport, certainly early on in the game. There's still plenty of time to go for Riverdale and company.
Tim Fell had told me before the game they wanted to get the ball going on the ground more effectively. And they certainly have done that, but not maybe in the way that many of us were expecting them to do so, with Marinello being the one tucking the ball under his arm and running, as opposed to Nate Panza. So we'll see what they draw up. Again, leading 20-0. 2:33 left here in the second quarter. Morristown-Beard has yet to attempt a point after it this afternoon. They've always gone for 2. Hand off to Major Jones. Jones trying to get to the edge, and he is going to be tackled short of the goal line, so the 2-point conversion is no good.
Major Jones will be short.
And that'll give the ball back to Riverdale.
Riverdale 20-0.
Making the tackle was Jonathan Faber, stopping another 2 points going on the board. So the lead remains 20-0. So Major Jones has 1 touchdown in this ball game for Crimson. Dante Marinello has got a touchdown as well. They've both been on some big plays. Riverdale has tried to go to the air, but they have not had much success. 2 interceptions so far this afternoon for Peter Edelstein. And because of the roughing the passer penalty that was charged on Riverdale after that touchdown pass, Morristown-Beard will be kicking off at the 45-yard line of Riverdale. So that's why they're not kicking off from their own 40. It'll be Dante Marinello doing the kicking. Another short kick. It's taken right at the 30-yard line, and falling down at the 35 is where Riverdale will start. So we'll see what the Falcons can do here. Down by 3 scores. 2:29 left here in the first half.
A lot of time on the sideline for Edelstein to talk to his coach. Need a better course of action than the last couple of drives, which both resulted in interceptions.
And I would think that you need a spark. You need something to take into the locker room. So first down and 10. Edelstein looks like we'll go under center. Drops back to pass. It's a 4-man rush. Edelstein hit as he throws, and he was incomplete. He was looking for David Korn at the 40-yard line. Went over the hands of Korn a little too high. Edelstein, though, was definitely feeling the pressure in the pocket, and now second down and 10 upcoming.
Actually pretty good pocket presence there by Edelstein. He stood in there as the pressure was coming, and Morristown-Baird's pressure was able to force the errant throw, but he was there and looking fairly confident in the pocket. Just delivered it a little bit too high.
So second and 10 now. Dylan Mack, the running back in the backfield, split out to the right are both Jonathan Faber and Zach Gronfine. Quick screen pass to Gronfine, and Gronfine is popped immediately by Dylan Panza. Well, it loses a couple of yards on the play. Certainly not what they were intended. And now they'll bring up a third down and long.
We've seen the way that Panza likes to play on the offensive side of the ball. Lowering his shoulder, delivering some blows. Yeah, you know he took some enjoyment out of that defensive play there, stopping the receiver in his tracks.
Riverdale trying to speed things up here. Again, they want to get something on the board. Third down and long. From the 35. Edelstein, quick pass to the sidelines. It's caught out of bounds near the marker at the 40-yard line. That's Zach Gronfine again. And it's a first down for Riverdale, so they keep possession of the ball. They move the chains now with 1:40 left here in the second quarter.
Now we'll see if that gives Edelstein any confidence. That was a good thrown ball, good route run to the sideline, and Edelstein delivered it right on the money.
Edelstein once again under center. Dylan Mack in the backfield on first down. Hand off to Mack. Mack will barely get back up to the line of scrimmage. He may have even lost a yard on the play. It'll bring up a second down and long as the clock continues to run.
Just having not been able to get Mack going. You'd like to see Riverdale get the ball in his hands, if not with the run, maybe set up some short screens, get the ball to him in an open field. You need to get the ball to your best player to move the football up the field.
And it doesn't appear that Riverdale is in any hurry here as they are taking their time, down by 3 scores. Edelstein drops back, pressure, and Edelstein is sacked. Back at the 33-yard line. That's Patrick Salazar, one of the seniors who was honored before the game, getting credit for that sack. And I don't know if Riverdale will get a playoff here as we're now down to 33 seconds. Most likely this will be their last play of the first half.
And Morristown smelling blood, and they send the house. And see, Edelstein, like you said, they're not hurrying up. He's not completely experienced at all, let alone in the 2-minute offense.
Edelstein under center, movement before the snap. And we'll check to see who moved first.
Patrick Salazar is volunteering himself as moving first, but it was actually movement on the offensive side first.
So back them up 5 yards now, 3rd down and 20 from the 30-yard line. 10 seconds left. We'll see if Riverdale actually takes the snap. They do. Edelstein back to throw, fires to the sidelines, incomplete. Clock stops with 2 seconds. His intended target on the sidelines was Zach Gronfine. 4th and 20. You might as well just take a long shot to the end zone here, Simon. You got nothing to lose. This will be the last play of the quarter.
Yeah, you just don't want to throw an interception and have the ball come back the other way. That's the only thing. And you know Morristown-Beard, they're probably going to play somewhat of a prevent defense, so you have to be a little bit careful.
Edelstein will go under center. Takes the snap. He'll actually hand it off to Mack. Mack across the middle, runs into his own man.
Mack on the carry.
That was
and
Stephen
that'll do it for the
Feely.
first half. Your halftime score.
And he bumped into after picking up a couple yards on the play. It doesn't really matter, though. That will end the first half with the Mo-Beard Crimson leading 20-0 over the Riverdale Falcons. And Simon, we talked about this throughout the game. Riverdale had an opportunity. They, at one point in the first quarter, were able to drive all the way down to the Crimson 10-yard line. But other than that, they have struggled just to get to midfield, whereas Crimson, with freshman quarterback Marinello and his brother Dante, have been incredibly strong and have performed very well.
Yeah, you've seen Morristown-Beard do it all, man. They've got a special young quarterback, a freshman, James Marinello, and he's looked really good running the football. Obviously, we've seen him pick up yardage in chunks, but a couple of times he stood in the pocket, he's taken some shots, and he's delivered good footballs right on the money. And so I think Tim Fell's got to be very happy with what he saw in this first half. Riverdale, tough to lose your starting quarterback last week, and then they lose Connor O'Neill. They're back up here in the first quarter here, so tough spot for Edelstein to come in here and try to get something going. So hopefully for Riverdale's sake, they're able to get into the locker room, come up with a game plan to be more competitive here in the second half. But yeah, if you're Mo-Beard, you're happy.
I'm sure Joe Otero, head coach for the Riverdale Falcons, will have a lot to say in the locker room with his team down 20-0 at the end of one half of play. So we'll take a break here on Play by Play Sports Network. We'll come back for the second half after this.
Alumni Board. Let's take a moment to applaud their accomplishments. Thank you, Athletic Hall of Fame members, and thank you, MBS Alumni Board members, for your service to the Morristown-Beard School Alumni Association. We appreciate each of you for being here today. Ladies and gentlemen, we're now ready for the beginning of the 26th annual Kirby Mile. Please be sure to cheer members of the MBS community participating today. Runners, on your mark, get set, go. Quick score update up in Booton. Morristown-Beard scores again to go up 3-1 with 6 minutes to go in the field hockey semifinal. Just a quick reminder that the snack bar below the announcer's booth is open. Smells like they're grilling. Good stuff going on down there. I also have I would say a set of keys, but it's just one key to a Nissan. First one up here gets a Nissan. Did anybody lose their keys to a Nissan?
Four fearless captains: Alex D'Alessandro, Ethan Kim, Arik Morton, and Justin Recupero. All four have been with the cross-country team since their freshman year and have run countless miles in and around campus. Alex has been the team's top runner since his sophomore year and is a pure athlete through and through. He puts in the hard work, and his times evidence that. While certainly not the loudest on the team, Alex leads by example and lets his running and times do the talking for him. Congratulations, Alex D'Alessandro. Ethan is always willing to help, no matter how big or small the request is. Whether it is getting water for the team before practices and meets or encouraging others to attend a meet. Ethan is always happy to oblige with a smile on his face. He has always been a great mentor for the first-year runners as well. Congratulations, Ethan Kim. Arik Morton. Arik is the voice of the team and truly wants to see his team succeed. While he previously set his 5K personal record during his sophomore year with the team, He has returned as a lean, mean running machine and has broken his previous PR in nearly every meet this season. Congratulations, Arik Morton. Justin Recupero has consistently been our #2 runner and unsung hero since his sophomore year. Justin is one of the toughest runners on the team and has run in several meets throughout his high school career while having 102 fever and battling sickness. Congratulations, Justin Recupero. These 4 seniors have been an inspiration to the team in their own respective ways, and they all truly embody the hard work, dedication, and passion it takes to be captains. Congratulations, Alex, Ethan, Arik, and Justin. That is your class of 2019 cross-country seniors.
Ladies and gentlemen, final up in boot, and your field hockey team has moved on to the county final. Morristown-Beard defeats Parsippany 3-1.
And we're back here at Park Memorial Field here at Morristown-Beard School. Getting ready to start the second half. Tim Kettlefamel alongside Simon Rosenwasser, along with the rest of our play-by-play Sports Network crew. 20-0. The Crimson lead over Riverdale.
Tim, our viewers may have seen the Kirby Mile at halftime, a wonderful tradition here at Morristown-Beard, and the winner is the coach of the cross-country team here at Mo-Beard, and that's Steve Monteleone.
Certainly a great initiative. They've done it now for 10 years, as Simon mentioned. On the opening kickoff, an onside kick by Riverdale is recovered by Crimson at the 44-yard line.
You like that out of Riverdale. They're not giving up, obviously. There's still 24 minutes, just under 24 minutes of gameplay left, and they're coming out. They need the football, and they need to put some points on the board, so they come out and they take a risk. They have an onside kick, and now they'll give Morristown-Beard a bit of a short field, and they need a little bit more out of their defense. That running attack in the first half for Morristown-Beard was just potent.
So we'll see what Morristown can do here in the second half. They'll once again start with James Marinello as the quarterback. He is actually a wide receiver in this. It's a direct snap to Major Jones on first down across the 45, spinning his way across midfield. Now into Riverdale territory across the 35 before he is finally tackled and wrapped up after a nice gain. Bringing him down is Jason Stager. It's a gain of 25 yards, and now once again first down and 10 inside Riverdale territory.
You almost got thunder and lightning here with Morristown-Beard, and really it's lightning in Marinello. He's got a smaller body running the football, but then you got Major Jones and Nate Panza, excuse me, and they've got some force coming at you when they're running the football.
So now Marinello back in at shotgun, takes a snap, will take it himself, tries to take it across the 35, and he is stood up, nowhere to go, barely gets back up to the line of scrimmage. There on the tackle was David Korn for Riverdale, bring up a second down and 10 from the 36-yard line of Riverdale. Mentioned some first half stats. James Marinello has 1 rushing touchdown, 2 throwing touchdowns through the air. Major Jones had a touchdown near the end of the second quarter, I should say, whereas his brother Dante Marinello had a touchdown in the first. And that is where we stand as far as the score is concerned. Another direct snap, this one to Nate Panza, and Panza running right gets about 5 or 6 yards on the play before he is tackled at around the 30-yard line.
Panza 6 foot 185. That's a big load to bring down, and you got Major Jones who's 6'2", 185, and those guys are tough to bring down in the open field with one player. You saw Panza, he stiff arms his left arm out there, and he's very strong. He's able to get a few more yards. Even though he's hit pretty much right at the line of scrimmage, he falls forward and gets a good gain on second down.
So it'll bring up third down, and we'll call it 5 from the 30-yard line. Crimson again moving the ball. They had good field position after the onside kick fail from Riverdale. Another direct snap, this time to Panza, and Panza is tackled at around the 28-yard line. Once again, David Korn, one of the middle linebackers, coming up with the tackle for Riverdale. And now fourth down, and we'll call it 4. Crimson has gone for it on every single fourth down that they have been in this game. They have never punted the ball, and it doesn't appear that they're straying away from that strategy in any way. Dante Marinello, one of the wide receivers, comes in off the bench. He'll be split out one-on-one.
It's interesting.
It's
the second time I've seen Marinello not go into the huddle. He avoids the huddle. He knows what route he's running.
Shotgun formation. Marinello's going to keep it himself. Tucks it under his arm. He has got the first down and more across the 20, 15, 10, 5 to the end zone. He is brought down at the 1-yard line. They are not going to give him the first. They're not going to give him the touchdown, rather. It'll be first and goal. Jason Sager with a touchdown-saving tackle. Out of bounds at the 1-yard line. Maybe not even the 1-yard line. Maybe the half-yard line. That's how close Marinello was from getting his second rushing touchdown of the afternoon.
Yeah, because he kind of spun his body, and although the pylon did go down, and when he was out of bounds, that ball was obviously not across the line. But great blocking down the field by Nate Panza. So
first and goal. Marinello out of the shotgun, takes a snap, Hands it off to himself. He's going to run towards the right side, and he stood up. He may have actually lost a yard on the play.
Marinello gets in for the score.
No, they're actually going to give him the touchdown. So Marinello's going to squeeze in. That'll be his second rushing touchdown of the afternoon. I thought at first he was going to be short of the first down, short of the end zone, I should say.
And I was looking at the far side referee, a very subdued touchdown call. It looked like he raised his hands in the air to say that he was short. But no, he did get in. Keep it on the ground. It's been working for Mo Baird. And 26-0. This is exactly how they wanted to start it. Fairly short field here, and they take advantage with another 6 points.
So once again, Morristown-Beard will go for 2 here. They have never tried a point after attempt in this game. They're going to continue with that strategy. Marinello once again out of the shotgun, takes the snap. Fires towards the end zone. It is caught, and the 2-point conversion is good. That is Sean Polinsky. And now they lead 28-0 with 8:54 left here in the third. So pretty easy, but they had pretty good field position at the same time, Simon. They were able to march down the field pretty easily. When you get the ball near midfield, you have half the field to go. So maybe you question that decision by Riverdale, taking the onside kick to start the second half?
It's tough to say. I mean, you know that Riverdale's going to do whatever they can to get back in this game. So they're going to take some chances. They're going to do things like have an onside kick. They're not going to throw in the towel, and that's for sure. It's just a tough Morristown-Beard running attack. They just have not been able to stop, and the big plays have come. The third downs, third and longs, the fourth and longs, and the 4th and 5 on that play, and you get a huge run that almost got into the end zone. I think we saw in the second quarter there was a 4th and long, and Morristown-Beard scored a touchdown on that. So it's been those critical plays that the Riverdale has just not been able to get off the field defensively and put their offense on the field. Give credit to Morristown-Beard. They've been executing in those critical plays.
So Dante Marinello again will do the kicking from the 40-yard line. Another short kick. It'll be taken to the 30-yard line and returned across the 35 for Jason Stager. He's tackled there.
Riverdale takes the kick out to the 35-yard line.
Greg Sutton
on the stop.
There for the Crimson. And that's where Riverdale will start their first offensive possession of the second half, in desperate need of getting some type of score. We really have not seen Dylan Mack, the star running back, really have many touches in this game. Of course, we mentioned Connor O'Neill, the true freshman starting quarterback, going out very early on in the first quarter. We were talking about this during halftime. It really kind of changed the dynamic of the Riverdale offense tremendously, but ever since then, we really have not seen too much out of Mack or anything really on the ground offensively. So first down and 10, Mack with the handoff, and he's taken down in the backfield.
Yeah, it's allowed Morristown-Beard to pinch in on first down. We've seen him have some first down runs, but Morristown-Beard, they know where the football is going. They know Edelstein's a little bit gun-shy with the football in his hands, throwing it.
George Burke making the tackle there for the Crimson in the backfield. It's a loss of 2. It brings up second down and 12. You mentioned Edelstein not really being all that comfortable behind the pocket. He had 2 interceptions in the first half. He'll go out of the shotgun on second down and 12. Takes a snap. Pressure. Going over the middle. Wide open is Faber. Faber almost a one-handed grab at the 30-yard line, and he dropped it.
That was a gorgeous ball there by Edelstein. And Faber, there were 3 defenders there. And Faber was able to turn on the Jets, and he got to the ball and got his mitts on it. I think he's going to be replaying that one as the afternoon and evening goes on, because that would have been a huge play, probably the biggest of the game for Riverdale.
Yeah, Jay Du Bois along with Aaron Skolnick, who had 1 interception in the first half, were back there on the coverage. And as I said, Faber almost reeled it in with one hand. So now third down and 12. Edelstein once again out of the shotgun. Crimson showing some blitz here. Man in motion to the right side, that's Gron fine. Edelstein over the middle, and it's picked off by Major Jones at the 45-yard line. The intended target for Edelstein looked like it was his tight end, David Korn. Not even close. Major Jones able to come up with the interception, and now once again, Crimson takes over with excellent field position.
Yeah, trying to control the middle. David Korn's probably been their strongest offensive player. A couple of good catches in the first half and a couple of good defensive plays, and they try to go to him, sure hands on third down, but again, Edelstein just telegraphing that pass. And Riverdale Country, I mean, they've got to be so frustrated with Connor O'Neill going down. They wanted a completely different game plan. They ran the ball with Connor O'Neill, and it was a good play, that play that he got hurt. But things changed when their starting quarterback was out of this game.
So Marinello on first down and 10. Pressure. Marinello flushed out to his right. Rolling, now going to tuck it under his arm and run, and he's brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Nice open field tackle there made by the Crimson, or excuse me, by Riverdale rather, by Sam Lippin.
Captain for a reason, Sam Lippin. Those one-on-one plays, you expect your seniors to make them. And Lippin did good to be able to stop the runner in his tracks.
Probably at least a first down saving tackle there by Lippin, as there was nobody that was around Marinello, and he looked like he was going to break off another one of his runs that he's had so far this afternoon on the ground. Marinello once again in the shotgun, now hands off to Nate Panza. Panza has some room across the 30 to the 25, stiff arms a man down to the ground and is brought down out of bounds. Looks like Zach Gronfine a little shaken up after getting a stiff arm to the face. But he does get up under his own power. Power move there by Nate Panza, picking up the first down, and they move the chains.
That's how he's been running all game. Riverdale's defense, they're just in a tough spot. They've been on the field for a lot in this game. So you imagine that fatigue is going to set in. I had a long drive, and Morristown just running the ball right down their throats. I mean, it's a tough thing to stay on the field that long. The offense throws an interception, you go right back on the field, and Morristown-Beard comes right back at you and runs the football.
So first down and 10 now from the 25-yard line of Riverdale. Direct snap to Major Jones. Jones looking for some holes. He's got him across the 20 to the 15. He'll be close to a first down. Making the tackle again, Jason Stager among others there for Riverdale. And it will be another first down, so they will move the chains.
And again, the way that Jones and Panza run the football, it's going to take a lot out of the defense to just bring them down on a single play. So that fatigue, it's going to set in just because the defense is on the field before you even take into account the running style of a couple of the guys that have gotten the ball a lot here for the Crimson.
So first down and 10. Marinello again out of the shotgun, takes the snap, going to the end zone, in the back of the end zone for his brother Dante, and he's able to complete the pass. Another touchdown from James Marinello to Dante Marinello. It's the second one of the afternoon, and now it is a 34-0 lead for the Crimson.
And James trusting his brother to go up and make a play, one-on-one coverage. Looked like Zach Granfine on the coverage there, and one-on-one, Marinello got up. He's got some ups in the corner of the end zone, able to come down, and Mo Baird cruising in this game.
So again, 34-0. Morristown-Beard will attempt the two-point conversion. It's bobbled. The snap is bobbled in the backfield. It's recovered. A late flag comes in.
Yeah, you got to throw the flag there, no doubt.
So all different types of confusion going on. Aaron Mersimi able to recover the loose ball, but we'll check the flag.
Yeah, it's going to be on Kofi Samuels for a personal foul, as Morristown-Beard was clearly down, number 28, and Mersimi was down with the ball, and he wasn't moving anywhere. And then Kofi came in there. Kofi Samuels came in there and dished out the hit. It's been a good week for Morristown-Beard during homecoming. Most of their teams picking up wins. I think the only team that didn't win this week was boys soccer, who went down in a tough one on Wednesday, 1-0. But yesterday they had an exciting day, both field hockey and girls soccer winning pretty much at the same time in overtime in both of those games. Field hockey moving on to the county semifinals where they won, so they're going to move on to the county finals. Volleyball picking up a win against St. Elizabeth on Thursday, so it's been a lot of winning for the Crimson this week here on the Play-by-Play Sports Network. And the football team is ending this week on a good note.
So again, just a little bit of cleaning up to do. So there was a personal foul on that last 2-point conversion. Once again, Morristown-Beard kicking off from the Riverdale 45-yard line. The ball is going to roll out of bounds, so that'll be another penalty flag. And that'll give Riverdale some decent field position. It's the second personal foul that we've had called on Riverdale in this game.
Yeah, and you worry about that kind of thing when the game gets out of hand and a team has given up. The team doesn't like to get pounded like they are in Riverdale. And we've seen Morristown-Beard. They've been talking some smack at points. So you do worry a little bit that you might see some of those flags fly if the teams get a little frustrated after the play, if this game's out of reach. But I'm not sure that most recent personal foul penalty was an intentional one. It wasn't smart of Kofi Samuels to go after him, but I don't think he was intending to hurt the player there. But again, we have seen some jawing after the play a couple of the times. Hopefully we don't see any more of that here in the second half.
So Riverdale will start this drive from the 20-yard line. Couple of delays as Joe Otero, head coach for the Riverdale Falcons, discussing something. And
what do we got?
Not quite sure. Now it looks like,
oh, they're going to re-kick.
Okay, that's what I thought. It was weird because again there was a penalty for the ball rolling out of bounds.
Right.
So I thought it was weird that the ball was spotted at the 20, but it looks like that's what they're going to do, Simon. So they're just going to re-kick the ball. All right. Took a while for the teams to realize that, I think.
Well, I mean, Riverdale have the option. It's either you take it at the spot, you take it, I think, 10 or 15 yards from the spot, or you start, I believe, at the 35. I guess Riverdale, they chose to re-kick it and think that they can do better than the options that they have.
Well, Dante Marinello will just re-kick it from the 50. Boots it away again, another spiraling, wobbly kick. It's taken by Jonathan Faber, and Faber is hit at the 20-yard line.
Taken out to the 20-yard line where Riverdale will take over 1st and 10.
They're on the stop, Jay DuBois, among others, for Morristown-Beard. And we'll see if Riverdale can get once again anything going. The one saving grace that Riverdale does have on their side was that 2-point conversion was no good. Had it been good and Morristown-Beard had gone up 36-0, it would have been a running clock. So Riverdale does have that on their side, but they're going to have to make use of this offensive possession because the way that the Crimson have been moving the ball, they're certainly knocking on the door, and I'm sure will be back in scoring position very soon. So Peter Edelstein has already thrown 2 interceptions today. He's back out of the shotgun on 1st down. Hands off to Dylan Mack. Mack tries to reverse field going to the left sideline and will barely get back up to the line of scrimmage. He was bumped out of bounds there by Major Jones.
Carry, no gain.
Yeah, regardless of what happens in this game, it's good experience here for Edelstein. And if Riverdale's forced to have him behind center, if Connor O'Neill's injury is one that's going to keep him out for any extended period of time, You got a guy who's gotten his feet wet here in this game. I don't think he expected to be playing this early.
Edelstein with a play-action fake on second down, looking downfield, looking for somebody. Lofts it to the sidelines. He's hit as he throws. It's out of bounds, incomplete. He was looking for Jason Stager at about the 30-yard line, way over his head. And once again, third down upcoming for the Riverdale Falcons. It's actually Kevin Pippin, number 3. Jason Stager is number 13. My apologies.
Yeah, Pippin was waiting there on this near side of the field. It took a while for Edelstein to recognize it. And by the time he did, it was too late.
Edelstein out of the gun. Third down. Pocket starting to collapse. Edelstein stands in there, throws it over the head of Dylan Mack, who was at the 25-yard line. He would have been short of the first down had he completed the pass. There is a penalty marker down, and I believe this is going to be roughing the passer.
Yeah, it is.
On Patrick Salazar, number 73 for Crimson. Actually, it'll be Joe DiPoleo instead.
Yeah, bailing him out, 3rd and long, and now it's going to be an automatic first down, I believe.
So that is a break for Riverdale as they were getting ready to give the ball back over to Crimson. Now, I talked to Joe Otero before the game, head coach for Riverdale. He told me that this is a team that still has some playoff aspirations in their own respective conference, and with the performance that they have today, even though this is a non-conference game, this will not help them in any way. So this is just an all-around deflating game.
It's not going to help them, but Tim, it's not going to hurt them, right? I mean, you got to look on the bright side of life if you're Riverdale.
First down and 10 now from the 34-yard line. Edelstein rolling out to his right, dumps it off again, looking for Gronfine, and way over his head, incomplete.
Incomplete.
Now, there's just nothing down the field. Mo-Baird's defense has stayed at home. They're fresh. I mentioned that the defense of Riverdale, and they don't have a ton of numbers on that sideline. I think they got a number of two-way players as well. So these guys are tired, and Mo-Baird's defense, they're fresh on this side of the field. And there's just nothing down there for Edelstein to find.
Edelstein almost looks timid in the pocket. He's rolling around. We're starting to see him being more mobile, but it looks like he's timid. He's not quite comfortable with that. Penalty marker is dropped from the side judge on the far side of the field. And it's going to be an offsides on
the defense.
Crimson. So I'm not sure if there was an encroachment or something happened before the snap, but once again, Morristown-Beard shoots themselves in the foot. That's the second penalty on defense on this drive, and instead of a second down and long, now it's about a second down, and we'll call it 5. From the 38. Edelstein hands off to Mack. Mack powers his way for a couple of yards up the gut. Tackle made by Patrick Salazar. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 2.
Defensive front has been pretty good for Mo-Baird. You mentioned we haven't heard much from Mack, the running back for Riverdale, and that's because the defensive line is doing their job for the Crimson.
So Edelstein takes the snap. He'll actually hand it off to one of the tight ends, actually, number 29 there for the Falcons, who just had checked in. That's Kofi Samuel, who usually plays linebacker on defense. Picking up, actually he's going to lose a couple yards on the play. Lost about 2, so it's 4th and we'll call it 3. From the 41-yard line, and Riverdale, of course, in a situation where they have nothing to lose. They, along with Crimson, have never punted in this game, so they're just going to go for it here, trying to keep their drive alive. Kofi Samuel alongside Dylan Mack in the backfield, right next to Edelstein. It's a play action. Edelstein will dump it off to Gronfine. Gronfine way behind the line of scrimmage and is taken down. That play was going nowhere. It's officially a 10-yard loss. James Harvett there for the Crimson, making the tackle in the backfield, and now Morristown-Beard will take over with excellent field position. Again, if Morristown-Beard does score again, the running clock will begin, as is the rules in high school football.
Been a fun game for the players on the field. It's been a fun game for the fans in the stands.
Yeah, they've been having a heck
Giving
of a
you
show.
an encore presentation of the national anthem. Did you hear that?
It is homecoming 2018.
Land of the free, home of the Crimson, as they say.
It's a little of a different lineup in the backfield this time on first down. Handing off and going up the middle is Erjan Mursimi, taking a direct snap. Also back there is Jay Du Bois, so James Marinello was not even in the huddle on first down. Picked up about 3 yards on the play. And for James Marinello, you have to be very impressed on the other side of the ball. A freshman has very good poise. Certainly Riverdale in the second half is a little bit more worn down, but he's had pretty good pocket presence all afternoon, as he now goes out as a wide receiver. Once again, handoff to Mursimi, and Mursimi will maybe get a yard on the play before he is met at the line of scrimmage by Nikolai Bursch.
Yeah, future bright for Morristown-Beard. Their brother stars in this game have played really well as both true freshmen. They've looked much more like juniors or seniors, with Marinello behind center and his brother Dante at wide receiver. Tim Fell has been able to get creative with his playbook here, spread the ball around. And now it's Mursimi who continues to get some work at the running back position. Now he's split out as a receiver, though.
So 3rd down and 6. Here is Marinello keeping it himself across the 25 to the 20. Is shoved out of bounds. It'll be close to the first down marker.
Good enough for a first down.
And it will be a first down. Jonathan Faber there bumping him out of bounds. And once again, yet another first down for Morristown-Beard. Clock continues to run. We're approaching 2 minutes left here in the third. Morristown-Beard trying to break a 4-game slide that they had been on. They are well on their way to doing so this afternoon. Mursimi, the running back, on first down. Hand off to Mursimi, and Mursimi is tackled immediately at the line of scrimmage. Will Jenkins there for the Riverdale Falcons, bringing him down. No gain on the play. About 90 seconds left here in the third. So we're seeing Mursimi have a more active role in the running back position, as I mentioned a moment ago, Simon. Nate Panza is on the sidelines along with Major Jones. And now a direct snap to Jay Du Bois, running to the left side. He's got some room across the 10 to the 5-yard line, where he is finally brought down. It'll be first and goal. Just no answers for the Riverdale defense, and as we both talked about, they're pretty worn down after a pretty long afternoon. Here's Marsimbi, the quarterback, a wide receiver on display. Another direct snap to Jay Du Bois, and Du Bois is in. Touchdown
Jay-Sean is in
for the
score.
Crimson. As they just continue to dominate this afternoon. I don't think Riverdale expected the game to get this lopsided.
I mean, you talked to Tim Fell before the game. I don't think he did either.
No. He told me this was going to be a tough game.
Well, I mean, in fairness, Connor O'Neill going down,
Yes,
first play of the game, and it was clear that their quarterback was going to be a big part of their offense. And then he goes down in the first series. Puts Riverdale in a tough spot.
Going for two and completing the two-point conversion.
With 39 seconds to go in the third, Morristown-Beard leads.
I have to check that. I believe that was Mikhail Patankar. We have an injured player down on the field for the Crimson. It's number 57, George Burke, one of the seniors who was honored before the game. So I hope that he's going to be all right. It's actually Will Baum, actually, number 22, not number 23, running it in there for the two-point conversion. Baum, the freshman. His brother Pierce also is on the football team. Neither of them have seen much action this afternoon. And we're still checking on George Burke, one of the linemen. You see Tim Fell there with the headset on, head coach. Checking out one of his senior stars who is going to be helped up and will walk off the field under his own power. So 42-0. Morristown-Beard leads. And if you're Riverdale, Simon, of course, obviously you have a lot of thinking to do during this week, but with the game obviously now being out of reach, your starting quarterback most likely not coming back yet. We don't know how severe that injury is going to be for the rest of the year. What do you do? Do you use this as a practice game?
That's always what you have to do. You have to take the game reps that you get and really cherish them, because you can practice as much as you want during the week. Nothing's going to simulate having another team out there.
Ball is almost nearly recovered by Crimson on a weird offs. Looking to see who was able to pick up that ball. That looks like that was Kofi Samuel there for Riverdale, falling on top of it. An onside kick.
We're in running clock territory, so we might not even get another playoff before the end of the quarter.
And it indeed looks like will be the case. As Morristown-Beard at the end of quarter number 3 leads 42-0 over the Riverdale Falcons. Will step aside here on Play by Play Sports Network. Come back with the final quarter after this. And we're back here at Burke Memorial Field, here at Morristown-Beard High School. 1st and 10 for the Riverdale Falcons from their own 40-yard line, and before we even get the play started, another false start penalty will back the Falcons up another 5 yards. Tim Kettlefamo alongside my broadcast partner Simon Rosenwasser, the rest of our play-by-play Sports Network crew, here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Temperatures near 60 right now with the sun. Beautiful fall day for football. And it has been all crimson, as they have just completely dominated this game. 1st down and 15 now from the 35. Here is Edelstein running out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. He'll maybe get 1 yard on the play. Pushed out of bounds there by Aaron Skolnick. And this is a running clock, so we expect this 4th quarter to go fairly quickly. In high school football, anytime a team scores over 35 points and has a 35-point lead or higher, this clock continues to run. It's 20-0 at halftime, with Morristown-Beard with the lead. And ever since then, they have just continued to dominate and pick up right where they started in the first half. As a nice run here by Dylan Mack, breaking some tackles as a 1st down and more across midfield. Trying to spark his offense with something.
That's what more of what we expected out of Mack. Tough runner, physical runner. A little shaken up coming up after that play. He looked like a tough and physical runner after the first play of the game, but since then, Morristown-Beard has really kept them in check. That was probably the biggest play of the game for Riverdale on the ground.
One of the senior leaders for the Falcons. Edelstein will go out of the shotgun once again. Mack right behind him, couple men going in motion. That's David Korn, along with Samuels, and Edelstein's not ready for the snap. He bumbles the ball. It's still loose, and finally is scooped up, it looks like by Crimson. Check to see, and it is indeed Morristown-Beard ball. Falling on top of it there was Will Watson. Edelstein bobbled the snap, then was able to regain composure and pick up the ball. Then he lost it as he got hit. And Will Watson looks like number 50 there, falling on top of it first for Morristown. And that really has been the game for Riverdale in a nutshell. Timeout is taken on the field. So that'll stop the clock momentarily with 9 minutes to go. And it's looking more and more like Morristown-Beard will stop the 4-game slide that they have been on. They're coming off of a loss, as I mentioned in the first half, last week to Rye Country Day High School, 35-16. They went 4-4 last season. They had to replace a lot of good players that they lost during the offseason. And it has not been a very good year. They have not had a lot to cheer about. But certainly this performance against Riverdale today will bolster their spirits a little bit.
Yeah, they'll feel good for another week. Go back to school on Monday and have their heads held high after this performance.
So on 1st down and 10, handoff is to Du Bois. Du Bois loses it, and it's scooped up by Kofi Samuels. Samuels is going to run it all the way back into the end zone for the first Riverdale touchdown of the afternoon.
Samuel lucky that he didn't fumble himself as he dropped it and it bounced right back into his arms. And now we have a down Morristown-Beard Crimson player.
Looks like J.J. Leibovitz, number 52 on his back. Now going to sit up, but yeah, Kofi Samuels able to scoop it up. It was a weird formation that Crimson was in. And it leads to their very first touchdown of the afternoon. As JJ is getting a hug from James Marinello, the quarterback, holding his wrist as he walks off under his own power. That's Devin DeSoto there, number 12, putting his arm around Leibovitz. He was the starting quarterback at the beginning of the year, but suffered an injury mid-season. And ever since then, it has been Marinello, the freshman, who has been calling the shots on offense. So we'll see what Riverdale does here. I believe they're going to kick a point after attempt. That appears to be the formation that they're lining up for. Will Jenkins will be doing the kicking. Peter Edelstein, the holder, as they'll try to tack on the extra point. And now a whistle and a timeout is taken by the Falcons. So Kofi Samuels, player that has played fairly well on defense in this game. We've called his name several times. Has a scoop 6, I guess you could call it, not really a pick 6, but I guess you call it a scoop 6, I guess.
Scoop 6, I like that. Trademark that, Tim.
I should. So just waiting for the momentary timeout to take. I think Riverdale just wants to talk things over. Maybe possibly reconsidering, maybe going for 2, I'm not sure.
No, they're going to go for 2. I think that, again, you do not throw in the towel. You don't throw in the towel ever in a football game. And oh, maybe you're right. Look at that.
Looks like they will stick with going for the point after attempt. So
all right, Tim.
They'll just try to tack on.
I stand corrected.
Try to tack on. Well, I thought that maybe they called the timeout. Maybe they were going to change strategies. Here it is. The extra point is up and barely goes through the uprights. It is good.
Yeah, despite Morristown-Beard being really offside.
Yes. Will Jenkins there tacks it on. It is still a 35-point lead for Morristown-Beard, so the running clock will still be in play, but something that
it stops on the scores though, so
yes.
It hasn't seemed like it.
Yes. But nonetheless, something that Riverdale can hang their hat on. Still have just never seen any real spark in this game from the Falcons, and certainly a surprise. I know it's certainly come as a surprise for both coaches on both sides of the field. Tim Fell told me, as we've talked about a couple times, this is going to be a tough game. Joe Otero thought that his team was well prepared for this matchup this afternoon. Obviously didn't help that they had their starting quarterback go down, but still, you look at the other players that they have on offense. Dylan Mack, Jonathan Faber, Zach Ronfine, just to name a few for the Falcons on offense. You would think that some of those players would step up, but they have not yet done so. And it has just been a struggle. So running clock still in play once we get this first snap, once we get the kickoff. Once again, Will Jenkins will boot it away from the 40. We'll see if they try an onside kick here, or if this will be a squib kick, which will be taken out of the Morristown-Beard playbook. It's a short kick. Be taken by James Marinello across the 50, and he's taken down at the 48. So another excellent field position for Morristown-Beard.
Good chance for Beard to get some of their
second string players on the field,
yeah, less experienced guys in there. Get some real game reps.
Marinello will remain as quarterback. I don't know, because of the injury to Devin Soto earlier this year, if Morristown-Beard has a backup quarterback. I'm sure they have somebody that they could bring in, but doesn't appear to be the case so far, as Marinello will still be as quarterback. A couple players going onto the field for the first time. Marinello out of the shotgun. Takes the snap. Hands off to Mersimi. And Mersimi gets about 2 yards on the play. So the Crimson will improve to 2-4, and they will stop the 4-game slide that they had been on here in Homecoming 2018. Whereas for the Falcons, it's back to the drawing board. They are 2-4. Again, this is a non-conference game, so this does not hurt them as far as the playoffs is concerned, which is something that you and I, Simon, were talking about earlier. But still, it really deflates a lot of their momentum this season.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't help, but all you can do is learn from this. If you're Riverdale. And Edelstein not in there for the majority of the season, and he comes in and he gets the start, or essentially gets the start after the backup quarterback goes down, and he's the third-string quarterback, Edelstein, and if he has to go forward, you'll feel a little bit more comfortable going into the week, being able to prepare with him, knowing that he's the quarterback. You're put in a tough spot as they were earlier this game.
Simi with about a 9-yard run. That'll bring up a 3rd down and 1. Clock continues to run with a running clock. We're about 6 minutes left. Riverdale showing some blitz here, and Morsimi almost taken down in the backfield. Now he is, as he's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. David Korn, I guess you could call that a sack officially, unofficially.
Was the direct snap? Yeah, that's a tough
you
one.
could.
Yeah, well,
maybe.
Well, it depends on
He already has
on the official score, doesn't it?
He already has one official sack when he brought Marinello down to the backfield in the first half, but maybe an unofficial second. Maybe we'll give that to him.
Yeah, David Korn playing well. He's been all over the field for Riverdale, and you have to admire the way that some of the Riverdale Falcon players have played, despite being down significantly in this game.
4th down and 6. Another handoff to Mersimi. Mersimi's got the first down around the edge and is bumped out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Jonathan Faber again knocking him out of bounds near the sticks. And we'll see where they spot the ball. I think it'll be right at the 35-yard line.
By my own count, Morristown-Beard's 3 for 3 on 4th down, and that's been a big part of the game. When this game was more within reach for Riverdale, they had a chance to stop Morristown-Beard early in the first half on a 4th down. There's two separate drives where they were able to pick up 4th and significant yardage and go down the field and score a touchdown, and yet again they pick up a 4th down conversion there.
Marinello will hand off on 1st down to a new player in the ball game, Zavon Crosby, number 32, who's getting some playing time. Crosby, the 5'10 freshman, 150 pounds. Getting his name in the stat sheet.
Very bold of the student section to believe that they'll win at this point in the game. You heard that, that chant? Yeah.
Another handoff to Crosby. Crosby will get some positive yardage here, although he's dragged back to the line of scrimmage. It's Kofi Samuel, the only player for Riverdale who has gotten on the board this afternoon with the tackle. 3.5 minutes and counting now remaining. Morristown-Beard led 20-0 at halftime. Handoff goes to Mersimi this time, running left, and lowers his shoulder across the 30 and gains about 5 yards on the play. Tim NFL will be pretty impressed. He's already taken his headset off. Not even really calling any plays anymore. Not really sure if there's really anything left to call at this point. You have a 42-7 lead. You're just kind of just milking the clock. I would be shocked if the Crimson go to the air at all. Marsimi again now running the opposite direction to the right and gains a couple of yards on the play. Tackle made by David Korn along with Kofi Samuels.
Couple last gasps here for Riverdale.
So turnover on downs, as I believe that's the first time that Crimson has not converted on 4th down in this game. As they were just trying to run out the clock, keeping it on the ground. And Riverdale with the last 90 seconds will have a couple more shots, possibly get one more score on the board. Edelstein out of the gun. Hands off to Dylan Mack. Mack will pick up about 4 yards. And I certainly do think this will be very disappointing for Riverdale. Joe Otero said earlier this year, at the beginning of the season, that he felt that his team would be stronger on defense, but that the offense needed to develop. It's almost been the opposite this afternoon, as the defense has been the one that have not been able to stop Crimson. The offense, while they have struggled, we really, to be fair, haven't really seen too much of them in action until the game got too out of hand. As Edelson spins his way across the 30 to the 35, getting back to the line of scrimmage. We'll probably have time for one more play here.
We didn't see Edelstein run really at all earlier in the game. That's something that they didn't really let him do. He handed the ball off and Mack was getting stopped, or he was dropping back in the pocket. That was really the first time we've seen him actually roll out and keep it himself.
Some of the seniors, including Patrick Salazar, being honored. As this will be the final play of the game. Mack with the handoff up the middle's got some room, loses the football. It is scooped up by Will Jenkins, and that will be the end of the game. So
fitting way to end, isn't it?
Yes, 42-7. That basically kind of sums up the way Riverdale, their afternoon went in a tough afternoon. 42-7 is the final score. Crimson, as I said, stops the 4-game slide that they were on. They are now 2-4 overall. They are an independent. They were 4-4 last season, but at least they can take something away from this afternoon. For Riverdale, unfortunately, they just had a tough afternoon, as Simon and I have been talking about. Really struggled to get anything going offensively, and then on the defensive side, they had difficulty trying to stop Morristown-Beard as they just continued to go to the air. James Marinello played incredibly well, several touchdowns through the air. Major Jones with 1 touchdown. Dante Marinello, James's brother, had 1 touchdown. So just a very impressive effort. And of course the loss of Connor O'Neill in the first quarter for Riverdale certainly made a huge difference. Simon, some final thoughts as we get ready to wrap up here.
Hey, Morristown-Beard, they're celebrating here. They're happy for a reason. Probably their best performance of the season. They stop a 4-game slide, and hey man, that running attack was something special today. Riverdale, really tough afternoon for them. They lose their starting quarterback, and it was just downhill from there. So, you Morristown-Beard, you feel pretty good though.
Morristown-Beard 42-7 win over Riverdale this afternoon here at Burke Memorial Field. For our entire Play-by-Play Sports Network crew, from my broadcast partner Simon Rosenwasser, I'm Tim Catalfamo saying so long. We'll see you next time. Once again, Mo Beard with the win, 42-7 this afternoon.